It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally.
Good evening, Sector 001. I'm TJ Esnack, your host for the Jupiter Station podcast. Tonight's guests, I have been dreaming of getting a hold of since we started the podcast, and I finally got a hold of them. We're going to be talking with the Decon Chamber crew. That's right. We're going to be talking with Connor Trineer and Dominic Keating. So, without further ado, let's bring them in from the green room. Connor and Dominic. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hi, TJ.
Yeah. Thanks for taking time out of your schedules to talk with us tonight. How are things out your way?
Yes, as you know, it's been a rough few weeks, but we had some rain over the weekend. In fact, he and I were away in San Francisco, but it was a good, just the right amount of rain, as they say, about an inch and a half, which, didn't cause any mudslides, but certainly helped with the efforts to put the last remaining, embers out. Yeah. I just listening to it on the radio today. Now the cleanup starts. This is going to change the face of the city for quite some years, I'm afraid. And
and I will say that we're all thinking about the people who lost their lives in the flight in DC last night.
Oh heavens, yes, God,
tragedy of that.
Oh goodness.
And Jesus Christ, it all just hits keep on hitting. And
yeah, we were this weekend. We were with Michael Dawn and Brent Spiner, who both lost their houses, and of course Denise Crosby lost hers in the Palisades too. That she had this cottage up there for over 30 years, and it's gone, man. Anyway, so it's there by the grace of God, I tell you. I mean, I was amazed. I sent Michael a text actually, and I'll do the same to Brent. Their grace under such stress is amazing.
I got to get these dogs. They're attacking each other. Hang on.
And to see the acceptance, it's real wisdom and quite amazing. Michael was just, he said, "I'm going to be a 3-suit guy." They've all got new duds. I mean, look, there's two positions here. They're of a subsection of the society that can go out and buy new clothes, but they still lost everything they own. And Michael, this was his family's home. I mean, it was the family home in Altadena that he grew up in, and that's got to come with a heavy emotional blow, without a doubt. So,
I can't even imagine.
I know. I looked around my house when I got home, this house that Trek built, and thought, how would I feel? How would I be if I'd lost all this? I don't know. It was, he really is he's a very graceful man. They both are. So, he thinks we can hear the dogs. We can't. He's got 4 dogs, I think, or 3 at least.
Goodness. Oh no, you could have, but I got them out.
All right. All right. So anyway, not to get things off to too much of a,
Heavy start.
Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans, as John Lennon said.
Yeah.
True words. So you guys are, I'm going to guess, best friends on screen and best friends in real life?
Yes, here in America.
Here in America.
He caught me out the other day doing one of the introductions or something. I mean, I have another friend over in that used to be in London who now lives in Ibiza, who's like my brother, and that's all. I was only thinking of Mutt.
Yeah,
but yes, in short order, yes, that is.
Yeah, we are dear friends in real life, and it's frankly as a result of discovering one another on our show.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So you guys started
and then finding out who we really are.
Oh,
after the show.
It's exciting, right?
It's not easy growing old with someone, I tell you.
No,
So
that's
you
true.
guys originally started as the Shuttle Pod Show.
We did. Yes.
Yeah.
And now you owe us $20 for saying that. Kidding.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
we had to disband that, unfortunately.
man.
for,
So
for production reasons.
I can imagine who came up with the concept of a podcast.
Well, I mean, in truth, we were hanging around backstage waiting to do some photo ops with the fans after the first pandemic what do you call it, shutdown. And there we were standing with Garrett Wong, who was waxing lyrical about his podcast with Robbie Duncan McNeil, and Connor and I looked at each other in the back of the hotel hallway before going out to a tent because they thought that was safe in the blazing heat of that.
Yeah, with plexiglass splitting between us and the fans.
We shouldn't.
Let's go ahead and stick them in a greenhouse. Nobody will know the difference.
No one will know the difference. I mean, honestly, those photos must look dreadful. Anyway, we looked at each other, and I think I kicked him on the ankle and said, we should be doing something like that. And here we are. So, and then he knew someone, the first guy that was a big Star Trek fan, and said he wanted to produce it, and sort of, and then did, and then didn't, and then anyway, we had to walk away from that. And then we got in bed with 455 Films, Dave Zappone, who does all the Star Trek documentaries, and came up with the Decon Chamber. And I think it's, in many ways, I think it's a better show. I think it's tighter. I think we've gotten better at it. And it's a professional, enterprise.
Yeah, we're happy to be where we are. We've learned a few things along the road, and we're really happy with the Decon Chamber and with who we're working with. So that's good.
Let's say that.
Yeah,
and I've noticed myself doing this. Last what's today? Today is the 30th. So like 6 days ago, it was a year that I've been running Jupiter Station. And if you look at my early shows, it's like, so what positions can you fill at our company? It felt so much like a job interview.
Right.
And as I progressed, I found that I didn't want to be that nerd reading from a clipboard saying, okay, well, answer this, and this. And my younger brother actually was the one who kind of took me aside and said, look, this is an awesome idea you have. He said, but you're stiff. Like, you're having fun. I know this. But you need to tell your guest you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it converted over to kind of like a conversation. So
I think the key to one's ability to be good as an interviewer is the amount of research that you wind up doing, which we do a great deal of.
That's true.
It's just like being an actor. Like, the more prepared you can be, the freer you are.
Agreed. Yeah, and then you can really let the conversation go where it goes.
Yeah.
And you've got stepping stones or sort of points where you can come back to, but you can just let it, the guests drive the conversation, and then you can subtly bring it back so that you full circle and come back to where you wanted to be. And yeah,
indeed,
as you'll notice, I mean, and I noticed, I don't know whether you, but we never take notes in. I mean, I've always prided myself on that. Yeah. It's it's like going to an audition and putting the sides down and going, I think I know this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'll glance down at the phone notes like once in a while, but now I'm getting better about remembering what I started talking about and kind of staying on task. And I let the guest go with the conversation, and I find something that kind of segues into that, and then we kind of soiree our way through.
Honestly, TJ, that's the key. Is that you've done the work to have the guest on, and then you present them, and then you open the door, and you go wherever it goes.
Yeah.
I got invited onto the the Obsidian Fleet podcast a few months ago, and the host there, it's an entirely UK based podcast, and the host was like, you have all these Star Trek stars on your podcast. How do you do it? I said, I'm not gonna lie. It's like I spend $20 a month and I get IMDb Pro. And she laughed. I said, no, seriously. It's like you have all these different fan sites, and you have all the different agents and the publicist, and it's a little daunting at first because you have to figure out, well, do I go this way and ask the publicist, or do I go this way and ask the agent? Jonathan Frakes back in November had actually mentioned to me, oh, well, which agent are you trying to get a hold of? And my mind was blown. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, there's my literary agent, there's my voice agent, and then there's my talent agent. I'm like, oh, which one would you recommend easiest being to get a hold of? And he gave me their name. I've emailed them a few times, and he's busy, obviously, in Canada doing Jonathan Frakes things, but there's like negotiation going on. So I'm getting a little bit better at that too. That
Right.
and phone calls. Like
How many agents does it take to change a light bulb? How many do you need?
Yeah.
5? 5, one to hold the light bulb.
Yes,
and 4
I
to go
used to be
different
the
directions?
producer, Joe. How many producers does it take to change the light bulb? Anyway, look, I'm sure your audience is interested in Star Trek. So, what do you want to know?
Well, I remember reading that, Connor, you basically got the trip role completely out of left field. I think I had read that you didn't expect to be quite so close to the top, and that there were going to be a few more actors who were auditioning for the role.
Well, there were a bunch of people auditioning for the role, but when I got it, I thought that I was going to be more like Scotty and have a lot more days off than I did. So when I read the pilot, I wound up realizing that, oh, well, you got to put your hat on, man. You're in this. I didn't realize that there was going to be this triumvirate between the captain, to Paul and Trip. I was, thrilled at the idea, but they didn't tell us very much about anything when we got the job.
No. Took me a week to find my trailer.
Yeah. I literally had as a description, good old Southern boy, good with engines.
Is that what it said? Pretty much. I've never heard you say that. Yeah, is that what it?
That is so remarkably generic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was their goal.
Good with engines.
Yeah, good with engines.
Basically, they wanted interstellar NASCAR guy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
So let me get this straight. You got the NX-01 up on blocks?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is this? A mobile home?
Exactly. I know.
Man, that's the biggest trailer with those dang old engines, man. Look at those.
Mm-hmm. I was a button-down Brit, shy around women, stiff upper lipped, I might add.
Oh, the role of Malcolm is definitely as like stereotypical British as they could possibly make it.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you get out? Have you spent your entire life at Starfleet Academy? Is this like your first time on a ship? You're just like really stiff and you don't go out and do stuff.
Well, it was our first time. We were the first ones out, so
yeah, we were.
Have to remember that.
It's true. Huh. Didn't really think about it like that.
Yeah, we were a prequel, remember?
Well, I remember that part, but as far as like the character development, I completely forgot that's like you guys are literally building Starfleet from the ground up.
Yeah,
basically.
And that's exactly why Scott took the part. Was he wasn't particularly interested in being another captain on another Star Trek show, but when they told him he was going to be the first, that was what piqued his interest. And he was like, "Yeah," he signed right there and then. Yeah.
No pressure, huh?
Yeah, we were lucky to have him. So, did you like Enterprise? Did you watch it in the day?
Oh, I watched it in the day. Trust me, that was something I watched religiously. I gotta say, when they went with the Xindi, that was when things really got dark, and I paid a lot more attention. I'm like, oh, they're having a 9/11 style event. It's like, ooh, it's like, let's see how this plays out. And it was really well written.
you. I'll say this to you. Our show was not meant to be the show that it actually was, because 9/11 really influenced everything that we did. We were 2 weeks into work when this happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was just doing some research because we're going to do a watch party for what's our sixth, well, actually our fifth, in effect, episode, Terra Nova. And I was looking around about that con, and there were some reshoots that we were going to do on 9/11 for, in fact, you were going to do in the captain's mess halls, mess dinner scenes. And
right.
that was the day I remember we got the call from Mary Howard.
Right.
And saying don't come into work. And I was up early that day and saw that second plane go into the second tower.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. I was waiting to come.
I ended up. No, I'm sorry, Connor.
I was waiting to come into work.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I was too. And and then the phone rang, and it was Mary, our supervising producer, saying, "Yeah, we're taking the day." Yeah, I have to say, and then coming back to work that second day, the day after, and I'd only been in LA about 7 years at that time, and I have to say, I never felt more American than I did that day, other than perhaps when I got my sworn in as a citizen. And it was to be around Americans in a workplace like that, and taking in, what had happened. Yeah,
I was still employed in law enforcement in Arizona, and I'm at work and I'm standing in my uniform, and this lady comes walking up to me, and she just out of nowhere gives me a hug, and I didn't know how to process it because I'm used to people running away from me, not walking up to me and hugging me. I'm like, thank you, ma'am. And she said, thank you for doing the job you do, and it clicked. I'm like, oh no, ma'am. It's okay. I do my job, and what happened in New York, that was a completely different thing. And I felt guilty because I was being equated to what they saw in New York with NYPD, and I did not know how to process that. And you're right. Everybody stood up. They became Americans. They cared about each other. They gave a damn. And
yeah,
I kind of miss those days. I mean, I don't want something bad like that to happen, but I'd like us to stop kicking each other in the junk. That would be nice.
That would be nice. I think we're getting into a lot of junk kicking for the next few years.
Certainly. Yeah. Yes, sir. It's going to be interesting. Where do you live still? Do you live in Arizona still?
No. I was telling Connor earlier, I'm actually living in Waterford, Connecticut, which is
nice.
near and dear to him because he had taken a program not too terribly far away from me while he was in college.
Okay. What took you to Waterford?
The Eugene O'Neill Center. Me or him?
Well, either one.
Yeah, I went to the National Theater Institute in Waterford, Connecticut, at the Eugene O'Neill estate, and spent a semester there, and it sort of solidified my idea. I swear to God, I'm going to shoot these dogs. I'm not going to shoot these dogs, but I'm going to get them outside.
He's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to. No, I found my way. Actually, I'm originally from Connecticut, and then my now ex-wife and I had moved out to Arizona because she had gotten a teaching fellowship.
Oh,
so while she was having her teaching fellowship, getting her master's degree, I was busy busting heads of bad guys. So seems like an even swap. And then I moved back home because, unfortunately, 2005 was kind of a rough year for me professionally. So I decided it was better to have a family support network closer than 2,500 miles away. So we moved home.
Right. And you're no longer in enforcement?
No, actually, when I moved home, I ended up taking a job in casino security, and then I segued into homeland security. And now I'm actually about to be retired volunteer firefighter and a school bus driver.
Right.
Good on you.
Guess which one's more dangerous? The school bus. Because as a firefighter, when you get off the truck, even if it's a different place, you have that checklist you follow every single time.
Mm.
My checklist is I get to work in the morning, I make sure the wheels don't fall off the bus, and they go round and round. And I do the opposite when I get back in the afternoon, and I check to make sure everything's okay.
All right.
Between those 2 points, it's good luck. Hope you come home in one piece. Let us know.
That's nice. How long do the runs take?
Typically, my run is probably start to finish 3 hours. So I have 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, and I joke about it with my kids. I said I get paid remarkably well to do remarkably little.
Right. Where do you go to the bus? Do you take the bus back to the depot, as it were, in the time off?
Yes,
Would you
yes.
just
It
take it
starts
home
and
and
finishes
put it
there.
on the street outside your house? They
No,
do.
some bus companies do, but mine, we actually have our designated location, so we'll like park it there overnight. It's a nice secured fence, there's cameras, so nobody can
All right.
do cheeky things to our buses while we're not looking. Cheeky is my 5-year-old daughter's favorite word. Thank you,
Is it?
Peppa Pig.
All right, but yes, very English, very cheeky. Yeah, Peppa Pig.
And it's funny because my wife and I both are school bus drivers, and her bus monitor was actually who introduced our daughter to Peppa Pig.
All right.
And when she started talking with an English accent.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
Well, I know.
oh, there's going to be no living with you now because you're adorable and you have that accent.
God, I met the girl that plays her, actually. She's the sister of an actress I work with. How about that? Yeah. So I forget the girl's name. Her last name's Aarons. Anyway, well, do you watch the Decon Chamber?
I do. I've been keeping up on a few of those episodes. I watched the Christina Chong episode,
All right.
which was incredibly educational. I didn't know that much stuff about Christina Chong, and I didn't even know that she wrote her own TV show.
She's certainly she's driven. I have to say, very admirable. And yeah, I hope it all works out. Clearly a great idea. Her uncle sounds like, I mean, her dad was part of the triad, and her uncle apparently is like proper. So yeah.
I was thinking the same thing when you guys were interviewing. I'm like, wait, is that what she means? No.
Yeah, I knew one other girl back in the day that I dated, Sam, whose dad was big time gangster in London, and yeah, they lived in castles and 2 rooms, depending on whether he was in jail or not in jail, and yeah, I knew one other. Yeah, I mean, it was quite a childhood, and spent a lot of time in Spain. he was actually a really posh guy that just wanted to be bad, and he ended up marrying, I don't know, the Cray twins. They were the infamous gangster family. There's 2 families in London. There was the Crays and the Adams, and he ended up marrying the daughter of the Adams family, as they say, not that Adams family. Yeah, he married the daughter of one of the Adams brothers, and yeah, the rest is history. Yeah, so I sort of come across it before, and yeah, it's a very different life when your family's absolutely, completely connected. Yeah, but she's great, Christina. We're going to see her on Sunday at the Saturn Awards. She's presenting, I think.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So as far as Enterprise is concerned, do you guys have a favorite episode that you did?
Well, for the pair of us, I love Shuttlepod 1 because it was the one episode I got to do, some proper acting in, and to do it with him. But I know there are other episodes that I think were pretty good, and Connor had a good swathe of them. Cogenitor, I love a lot.
Yeah. And also, is it called 2 Days and Two Nights, where we're on Risa?
2 Days and 2 Nights. That was the one that Michael directed. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize until that we were in San Francisco, and somebody in the audience said that Dorn had directed that one.
Yeah. I think it was the only one. I think, if I'm right.
I think it was,
yeah.
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 2 Days and 2 Nights. That was the one where you guys were on the planet and everybody was going crazy because of the spores.
No,
No.
this is the one where we go to Rigel, is it? For an away day, as it were, and we get duped by those two good-looking chicks that turn out not to be good-looking chicks.
It's
And,
always the Orion chicks, man. It's always
Yeah.
the Orions.
And we're down in that sort of, what is it, sort of bus room. And then I love that shot of us stomping up the stairs, mustering as much dignity as we can in our blue underwear. Shot from behind. Yeah.
Captain, it's like this. Like they overtook us. They were large, massive, humongous.
Yeah, there was nothing we could do, sir. Yeah.
Right. So having the podcast that you guys have, you have the ability to talk to a lot of like the other Star Trek actors. As far as new Trek is concerned, which is pretty much anything new on Paramount Plus, do you guys have any shows that aren't necessarily your favorite, but you tend to watch more than the others?
I've been enjoying. I watched all of Discovery and liked it a lot. I did, and particularly I liked the last season, especially, and thought Sonequa was fantastic as the leader of that show, and she had a great supporting cast. Everyone really was very good, and I thought if Star Trek's going to hold up a mirror to the society of its time, then this did a good job. And it might have swung ever so slightly, let's call it on the woke spectrum. It might have gone, ding, 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 ding. But I think, for where we're at, getting used to this, new acceptance in the brave new world, I thought it did a good job. It was well written and certainly well shot. Amazing. Yeah. I love you like Strange New Worlds a lot, don't you?
I do actually. As far as that's concerned, just the fact that they were able to not only pull off a musical, but convince their fans to watch it.
Right.
My 5-year-old, unfortunately, she has memorized every song from that episode. It is her favorite episode ever, and she informs me this morning as we're. And they've got awesome voices. I mean, nobody would think that they have awesome voices like that, but they all work together really well.
I think Christina, I got that from our chat with her. She was the one that was the proponent of that episode. And they did it. It was a great job. I love that crossover episode they did with the Lower Decks lot. That was really well done.
But that was hilarious.
And it's a good show. The good production value. Our show was pretty cool for its time, but this is, the scapes that they're getting to, work with, and they create these incredible sets that,
they're far cheaper than you guys were able to, because
I think, they're not that cheap. I think they do 10 episodes and they cost, it's a fair amount of money. We did 26 a year for 2 years, and ours wasn't cheap either. But I think if you boiled it down per episode, they're spending money, man. But it's well spent. Looks great, And
my daughter informs me this morning as we're getting ready for work. She said, "Dad, you have to have the musical people on your podcast, and I have to help you."
Oh, yeah, they all could hold a note. I have to say, I'm not sure our cast could have done that.
Lord, it would have been
great. Captain.
Yeah. Check 1 2 2. Check. Can you hear me?
So, well, I'm glad you're watching and enjoying our show. We got some good guests, I hope, lined up in the near future. And we've got Brian Fuller coming on. And
cool.
Yeah, he's very cool. What a great interview chat that was. Yeah. And we went to see his new movie, Dust Bunny, which is coming out sometime this year, I expect. Also starring Mads Mikkelsen, who he did Hannibal with. It's a hell of a ride, I have to say. I was blown away, and he directed it, wrote and directed, and it's really it's quite exceptional, I have to say. So you'll enjoy that.
I look forward to it. Well, I'm going to wrap stuff up here for you guys. Typically, I'll probably do the post-production stuff on this and get it on YouTube probably Sunday midnight-ish.
Okay.
So if you guys want to pop it on and say, hey, we're going to be on this podcast, should be just about midnight on Sunday. And I will send Katie, I think, is who I'll probably send the links to.
Yeah, please do. In fact, she's the one that will orchestrate all that. And yeah, I'm a bit Luddite.
Is there anything else you want to know?
I'm 38.
38. You don't look a day. You don't look a day over 100.
That's it.
So, let me think about that. Actually, as far as the podcast is concerned, clearly you guys have longevity. Like, you guys know your way around. You're getting better. You've got a great producer. What would you say is the key for not so much interviewing the guests, but like, I guess, attracting more guests? Or is it more like
you got to hustle?
It's Dom and Connor. Yeah. It's like we'll totally talk to them.
Yeah, you got to hustle, and you've got to not be shy, putting your hand forward. And just ask them, and just they can only say no. And
right, and you want to do the research, you want to do the work that is required to do the show itself, and then listen to them. And I think that the great thing about our show is that, I mean, no offense to your show, but we're in a studio. We're in a studio. We have a crew. We have cameras, and we're attempting. I don't mean to say raise the bar so much as do something different, and we've been doing that, and it's a lot of work. I really enjoy doing it. We both really enjoy doing it. We can't survive without help, because we're paying a full crew of people to make a show.
Yeah.
So it's not just flipping open a laptop and talking to somebody in any part of the world. We're getting them there. And so there's considerations that are different than I think some other podcasts. And we're committed to what we're doing, and we want to continue to be able to do that. And that requires, quite honestly, assistance. And fortunately, we've got this, one of our executive producers, Dave Tabb, has, he's written the checks to keep us alive. And, without him, we wouldn't be here. But
we need, what we really need is, because he's not going to do that forever, and he needs to see numbers, and we need to generate those. And then out of those numbers, we need people to, if you love what you see and what you're listening to, you need to support that. It's just like a streaming channel, or I always liken it to KCRW, my local NPR station here in LA.
I was just about to say public radio.
It's never not on in my house, and for years I might have not listened to their hails for support when they came on for the drives, and they really, now I understand what on earth they're talking about. If you love it, support it. It's not a fortune. It's just the exponential numbers game. And if you get enough people to pay $5-10 a month, then we can keep on doing this. And we really hope that we can find those people with the generosity of their pocketbook to do that. So and it's important, because like I say, we can't be supported just willy-nilly by one guy forever. It won't happen. And it's and as Connor said, we both love doing it, and we know all the people who tune in love listening and watching, and so it's important that you step up, guys, and help us continue. So
absolutely,
one of the reasons
that's your Patreon page, right?
Spread the word. Yes, patreon.com and then /Decon Chamber.
Yeah, and you can also just go to our website, I think, right? And there's a button that sends you to
I believe so. Yeah.
But nonetheless, I didn't really know what we were going to get ourselves into, and we've had the rainbow of experiences, and I feel like we're in a good spot. And the great fortune that we have on our side is that we've been doing this for so long, actors going to conventions, and we know most, if not all, of the actors who could be interviewed on our show. We've met them, and they've been very gracious in their time to come, because you got to drive out to Burbank to our studio. It's not like you can stay in your sweats, flip open the laptop, and then you're doing it.
Bill did.
Bill did, yes. He did, but
then
he showed up. He still showed up.
He still showed up.
Yeah.
And he was great.
Yeah.
And it was what a treat that was to have him as our first guest to kick off the new venture. It was, it was pinch yourself moment.
Yeah. Almost like, having the captain send off the ship.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Exactly.
And he's sharp as a tack, and it was brilliant. I mean, he was. It was honestly. I mean, I was an 8-year-old watching him initially in black and white. So just kind of nuts to think that I came to Hollywood and got to spend that time with him. And it's a crazy. I mean, it really is.
And it's funny you mentioned that, like to hustle to get the guests on. I've actually emailed his secretary.
All right.
And even though I got blown off, I'm okay with that, because I got blown off by William Shatner's secretary. How many people can say that?
Yeah. I came out.
Probably.
You want to be careful with that, TJ.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Spreading rumors like that. See you in court, mate.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm getting messages from the Admiral here that it's dinner time. So
right.
I gotta bounce. I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules to meet with us. And I will let Katie know when this is going to be on and go through the process.
All right.
Awesome. TJ, thank you for having us, man.
Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it, guys. Have a great night.
Right. Ciao.
Ciao.
See you.
Here at Jupiter Station, we've partnered with Purple Carrot to bring you the best in vegan foods. From meal kits and ready-to-eat foods to vegan grocery offerings, Purple Carrot has the healthy options you're looking for. Go to purplecarrot.com and use promo code TJ30 to get 30% off your order today.
Did you know Jupiter Station, a Star Trek podcast, also has a Patreon page with 3 membership tiers to fit any budget? Go to patreon.com and look for us, then click join. It's that easy.